send some quick messages. So this is about a small village in Thailand. 86-87 की बात है और ये वीडियो एक ऐसे गांव का है जहां बच्चे फुटबॉल खेलना चाहते थे तो फुटबॉल ग्राउंड नहीं था बिकॉज वो गांव ही समुद्र के बीच में है. So this is a story about them and how in 15-17 years they became Thailand's best football club. So it's a real story and I just wanted to see it and then we're going to ask you some questions. So unfortunately, unlike Dr. Gautam, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions in between. और उसको आपको जवाब देना पड़ेगा.
You all have a tough boss today, tough boss.
So वो बाद में आपकी opportunity होगी डॉक्टर गौतम और मेरे को question पूछने की. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I'm just hoping this is going to be visible. तो आपको इसमें इंग्लिश सबटाइटल्स देखने हैं. Can you read the subtitles?
Yes.
Don't worry about the voice because that's not in Hindi or English. So they're trying to figure out to go for the championship or not. तो किसी ने इनको यूनिफॉर्म बना के दे दी कि जाओ खेलो. वॉइस नहीं आ रही.
अगरबत्ती करनी है।
Okay, so while he sets it up, some key learnings. क्या देखा आपने वीडियो में? Guys there?
Whatever challenges you face in life, if you think you can just bear it or make it good, then you can.
और यहाँ कहाँ देखा आपने वो?
At the last point, there were some readings and some writings over there, so I just noted down. And life is full of opportunities, I say, and we are not so smart to just make a difference in that. So always being going and heading forward, we can make a difference if we try our best. And that's all I just.
तो उसमें क्या दो चीजें आपने देखी जिसमें आपको लगा कि हाँ जैसे वो शूज से नहीं खेल पा रहे तो उनके पैर खेले?
They build some abilities and some skills by their daily workings so that they can just make difference. Others playing with football shoes because they were in their habits, but they had always played on woody, like the wood playground they played on. So they were having a habit of playing on those woody planes. So they had a habit and they had opportunity as well. But at last they just give a chance to their co-members or just whoever in the championship, the compatible.
Great, so that's one. What is the second one? When they initially thought of the idea कि let's make a floating pitch, what happened? Yep.
They first thought of an idea, but they were.
And everybody laughed at them, right? The elders and everybody. Okay, great. Any other learnings, guys? Yeah.
Belief in yourself can change their life.
Belief in yourself can.
Yeah, because those members who are in team football team, they used to believe in themselves that why can't we play? So they made their own platform to play. They participated in the competitions. Although they have won the third prize, they have the belief in themselves that they can do. They did that.
Right. So last 15 years, they've been the best pilot football team amongst the top two. Start off where they didn't know where to play. Right. Now, India, the way I look at it, is positioned almost similarly. A lot of the solutions that have worked for the US or Europe may not work for us. We'll have to find our own solutions. Right? Or there are challenges that are unique to us. So what I'll quickly do in the next 10-15 minutes, quickly walk you through. I think good thing is that Dr. Gautam shared so many examples, so I will skip some of them because I have some of those as well. Because it's such an interesting topic. Now, a lot of us are optimists and a lot of us are pessimists. Don't worry, which side of the divide you are in. I think India's position in a unique way at this point in time in its history, it's not a challenge whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. I think the challenge is, can you spot the opportunity and make big out of it? There's somebody who's dozed off in the bot at the last bench. Hello? The lady in yellow, are you feeling dozed? Okay. So I'm going to ask you the next question in like another 5 minutes. So, a few facts, right? All of you know, 5th or 6th largest. Next year we could be 4th largest. We may crack France. Huge improvement in the ease of doing business. Amongst the top 5 countries in the renewable energy sector. I don't have to tell you, in terms of solar panel players, the amount of investment that's going in, the opportunity that exists, the digitization of payments. If you look at data, I think we've grown at about 5 times on an average annually since we got into this after demonetization. Over 4 years, it's a 3,000% growth. And we still, if you look at our average, and look at the average digital transaction that happens globally, we're hardly a fraction. ISRO, how many of you gone and watched Mission Mangal? Oh wow! So movies, all the moviegoers are this side, huh? What about this side? You only study? Okay, I'm just going to do. So, how many satellites did one rocket launch? One rocket of NASA, sorry, of ISRO, launched how many satellites? That's a world record. Answers are there.
104.
104. Now go back to YouTube and look at NASA's reaction to it within 24 hours. NASA, supposed to be the god of space exploration. The NASA top scientist is being quizzed by a US senator in a US Senate hearing saying, have you heard of what India has done? And he says, yeah, we've been actually shocked. We don't know how to respond to it. That's NASA saying. And you remember the Mars mission? What is the per square kilometer cost of that mission, of flying it to Mars? Somebody said? Perfect. And that's kind of way below the cost that I may pay for an auto rickshaw per kilometer in Bikaner, right? I tried one yesterday, it's about 11 or 12 bucks a kilometer. So if I'm a pessimist, I may say, okay, but these are 4 examples. What about the rest of the thing? We'll come to that as well. Global Innovation Index, and the data I'm using on some of these is all globally vetted data from global organizations. Global Innovation Index, we moved from rank 76 to rank 57. And look at how the patents that we file globally have risen, almost 3.5 times. We're today the second largest startup hub, whatever parameter you look at. This is obviously not a fluke. We were right. Yet, there are challenges. Right? Corruption, we still rank 81 out of 180. We moved up, but still issue. Environment with the pits, 177 out of 180. But huge opportunity. Sanitation, segregation of garbage, climate change. So at a recent, about 2 years back, I met the richest guy from Indonesia at a conference in Singapore. And he was introduced as the scrap king of Indonesia. All that the guy does is collects the entire scrap in some 10 cities in Indonesia and converts it into useful products. You know, the richest, other than the Sultan of Brunei and the Indonesian king, he is one of the richest guys. And that's the opportunity. Now, somebody will say, but you know, I think I can handle scrap or I can handle people's refuse. But that's the opportunity. Climate change. Skills, the less said, the better. How much money do you think the government's invested in the last 5 years on skills development? Take a guess. 15,000 crores per annum. Into 5 is how much? 75,000 crores in the last 5 years. We don't have the outcomes yet, but that's an opportunity for some of you guys. Farming, again, I think as Dr. Gautam mentioned, huge opportunity. We went to a startup in Hyderabad, which is within the IT, they call it the IT hub, which has some 250 startups in a building. And these guys using drone technology to actually go to each plant, assess its mineral parameters, and release whatever chemicals are needed and then go to the next plant. All being monitored at one AI desk. In pilot stage, what is the opportunity? Infrastructure, you name it. Airports, railway stations, we don't even know what's going to happen with the Uberization of flights. So Dubai in 2020 is integrating Uber cabs with Uber choppers and planes. So high-rise buildings are going to have a landing with choppers and planes at a vertical takeoff capability. You buy an Uber ticket, let's say to go from Dubai to Bahrain. It includes a cab ticket, so you go to a building, you go vertically up on the top floor of the building. There is a Uber air taxi waiting for you. It drops you across into another part of Dubai or Bahrain or any other country. Now imagine what it can do to a place like Mumbai, where just commuting from north to south can be a 3-hour nightmare. Just a small example, forget anything else. The information and communications technology, we still ranked 134 and 176. But on startups, we're number 1. But if you look at the opportunity there. And this is about digital AI robotics. So my son is a digital marketer. He's about your age, he's 24. So he took me to a virtual fashion show. Their company works on creating some products. Now this virtual fashion show does not have ramp models walking in different costumes. Right? You've all seen fashion shows? Either in person or on the net or video or on TV. So this ramp has about 270 cameras, all automated, gathering data, so it clicks and gathers data. The models only wear neutral shade clothes, simple clothes. Neutral shade clothes as they walk in and walk back. As a consumer, you can pick from a menu which dress you want the model to wear when she's walking in and walking back. So let's say you want the model to wear a sari, and you pick up which texture, which color, which print. And those 270, 280 cameras give you those 270 views to look at what's the bounce of the cloth. When she turns around, how does it swirl? How does she look? And simultaneously, as you're doing this, you can also order that. That's where technology is taking us. So I was that, and this was about 18 months back. So we're done in Dubai, they're trying to do something in India like that. Now, that is the opportunity. Another example, you are driving down, let's say, which is the nearest big city from Bikaner? Jodhpur, Jaisalmer? Jaipur. Now, as you are on the highway Bikaner to Jaipur, digital technology, for people who have subscribed to it, so let's say can tell you that you're approaching lunchtime and these are the 6 highway motels on the highway who can serve you lunch. And it can give you a rating for the last 6 months that of these 6, which one serves the best vegetarian meal or which one serves the best non-vegetarian meal. Now for the highway motel, it gives them the option to subscribe to a service where they can push this data out to only cars or scooters or buses which are within a 50-kilometer radius of that site. Are not given to the whole world. So very, very targeted. Just 2 examples of what's the opportunity using digital, the entire digital piece, the AI piece, the robotic, which I think Dr. Gautam explained so well, a lot of other examples. So that's how that's going to pan out. So it's not all gloom yet. Yeah, skills will change. And I think as Dr. Guruswamy was saying, while we're seeing all this, number of full-time jobs are not going up. And that's the change that we've adapt to. Number of full-time jobs as defined today, again as Dr. Gautam was saying, is about full-time employment. And that may not be the case. When I was at PWC, we did some research and we believe that by 2025, most of the professional services firms in India and Asia, 30% of their workforce will not be full-time. And I met a young guy like you guys, who's actually designed an app that lets experienced people log in their profiles. It also suggests to them what's the kind of job they want to do. So it asks you, do you want to work 8 hours a month? Do you want to work 2-hour assignments 4 times a month? It also assesses you. They have a panel, backend panel that assesses you. And then that app recommends you to the kind of companies you work for. That's the future of work. That's how work's going to happen. So again, as Dr. Gautam was saying, I don't want to go to a permanent office. I can go to a co-working space where I have a desk which I've rented for, let's say, 20 hours a month. And that's how I communicate. Let me give you another example. One of my roles a couple of years back, our CEO was having a challenge interacting with youngsters like you. तो उनको लग रहा था कि यार मैं ना 55 साल का हूँ, तो ये जो 22, 24, 25 साल वाले जो हमारे स्टाफ हैं, मेरे से खुल के बात नहीं करते. तो एक ग्रुप को बुलाया गया कि भाई CEO wants to meet you. 5-6 people were called. They said, no, we don't want to meet the CEO. As the HR head, I had a challenge कि CEO कैसे बताएं कि तुमसे कोई मिलना नहीं चाहता. तो उनको पूछा गया कि क्या चैलेंज क्या है. जैसे कि हम आपके CEO को उसके ऑफिस में नहीं मिलना चाहते. Now that's the new paradigm. That's the new way. So मैं अपने CEO को फिर एक दिन ड्रिंक पे लेकर गया उसको समझाने के लिए कि देखो यंगस्टर मिलेंगे पर आपके ऑफिस में नहीं मिलेंगे. तो उनको लगता है कि जब मैं आपके ऑफिस में मिलूंगा तो एक I'm meeting an authority, I'm meeting a CEO of a company. So after a few drinks, he realized, not with a drink but he realized that if I have to tap into 60% of our people who are below 30, then I will be this guy. So I went back to the youngsters कि ठीक है, उनके ऑफिस में नहीं मिलेंगे, बताओ कहाँ मिलना है? सिर्फ बरिस्टा में या कैफे कॉफी देगा. So in every city, we then set up a barista or a cafe coffee day, where the CEO, when he was traveling, would be made available for half a day, and people would come and talk. Now that's the new reality. That is how communication itself is changing.
Evening in the cafe and also every evening they will go to the weather game. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's a very prominent on the daily.
Exactly. So, not so much of gloom, huge opportunity. The question is, what do you want to do with the opportunity? आप क्या करना चाहते हैं उसके साथ? And therefore, it is not just good enough to just do your course. What the university teaches you is some part of what you need to get ready with. A lot more is to be done. A lot of online stuff, a lot of interactions, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of interactions within the groups here. So what's the opportunity? And at least to my mind, I have, and I'm sure a lot of senior people here will agree, when I started off in '89 as a professional, India was a third world country. तो पहली दफा जब हम बाहर गए, I used to work for the Tatas. I think we were in London, 93 या 94 की बात है. तो हमें ऐसे देखा जाता था कि हम किसी दूसरे प्लेनेट से आए हैं. मीटिंग हो जाती थी, हमें पूछा भी नहीं जाता था. Because we were such a small part of the entire ecosystem. We were still third world country. We weren't expected to lead things. We were expected to follow. And in the last 25 years, with a lot of the hard work the country's done, today as you step out, everybody looks up. Because जो path breaking काम इंडिया में हो रहा है, everybody looks up. So if we land the moon lander on the South Pole on the 5th or 7th of September, imagine what it's going to do. Right? Who's the newest sporting sensation in India? We got to know him only in the last 2 weeks. Huh? I didn't get the name. Be a bit louder. Sindhu is old. Okay, Hema Das is still old. There's a newer one. He just beat the heck out of everybody at the World Junior Cycle Championship. We won the relay race and the guy won 2 more medals. Google it. I'm not going to tell you. So that's how it is opening up. And that's the opportunity. The world is the stage now. So the opportunity from my perspective, and these are just some examples I've given you. There are many more. This list is endless. Third largest GDP by 2030. My view is China will go the Russia way. Who knows what happens then?
Because after CPEC,
Yeah.
we'll have to walk China.
So rate of urbanization is beginning to touch 35% for us on an average. Now what happens is when rate of urbanization touches 35%, it begins to double the disposable income in people's hands. If we continue to remain at 27-28% domestic consumption economy, imagine what it does to products and services that get produced in India and they get bought. If we continue on a 6 to 8% trajectory in 2030, this will hit 60%. And therefore, the opportunity on smart cities, on building more employment opportunity in the rural hinterland, so that the cities don't get pressurized. 69 mega cities today with a population of 1 million plus. Yesterday, while walking in the streets, I figured out that Bikaner is one of them. Bikaner, I believe, has a population of 12 lakhs. Is what a lot of people told me, numbers between 10 to 18 lakhs, and I googled it was about 12 lakhs. So therefore, for all of these mega cities, and I was reading a McKinsey report which said that if the rate of urbanization hits 60%, then Maharashtra and Gujarat become bigger than Brazil. Can you imagine? We talked of Australia as we started the conversation. Just Maharashtra and Gujarat, from a consumer perspective, is as big as Brazil. And that's a couple of years down the line. Now that's the potential. Pick up any service. Infrastructure, it's crazy. You can't even figure out what's the opportunity waiting for us. Water, sanitation, power, renewable energy, roads, policing, running municipal corporations as profit centers. You name it. That's where a lot of the jobs are going to come in. I met a 24-year-old IIT Delhi guy who's been working with the government for 2 years. So I asked him, why did you give up a very lucrative placement career, which would have given you anywhere between 30 to 80 lakhs per annum? He said, I'm very clear, I want to be a politician at age 30. So I was stunned. And then we became friends, and now we interact with him a lot. He works with some key ministers in the BJP government to use technology to enable a lot of their parliamentary constituency work. So starting from Mr. Shekhawat, who's now become the water resources minister, did his initial work in Jodhpur, to a lot of others. But that's where a lot of youngsters are going. Nobody stops you from doing that. So he shared a deck with me in our conversation, which he made it to the cabinet committee with Prime Minister Modi sitting there. Now the government today, along with Niti Aayog, engages about 300 such people across a variety of backgrounds and a variety of qualifications. All of them, again, as Dr. Gautam said, they don't have full-time jobs. They work on contracts, but they're happy. The demographic dividend, I want to ask you, what is the demographic dividend, right? You've been hearing about this? Every time you talk about India, they say, India's got a great demographic dividend. What is this demographic dividend that gets referred to? People in the back? The lady in yellow? I know she's not happy. So what is the demographic dividend that you keep hearing of? Take a track.
Number of youngsters that you have.
Yeah, the number of the non-dependent population, dependents mean less than 16 and above 16, you're right, number of youngsters or the number of non-dependent population, which for us will remain stagnated till about 2050, the percentage, which means the number of people who can work and will be employed and will contribute to the nation's development and the support to the aged people. We will just grow with that, because that for us, so the median age remains in the 35 to 39 years till about 2045 or 2048. Which, if you see in Canada or in many European countries, is a big challenge. How many of you are dreaming of applying for the PR in Canada? One there? No. So Canada, every second guy is an Indian because they have an aging population, they need younger people. And if you apply before you're 30, 32, you have a greater chance. That's because they've gone through that stage. So for us, that golden era starts in 2018-19 and goes on till about 2030, 2040, 2045. Low penetration levels of financial services and healthcare. We're hardly negligible. We may be about 2 or 3% of what the US or European penetration levels on financial services, healthcare, consumer spending is there. And the point that Dr. Gautam again made, it's the entire pyramid. And most of the money will be made at the bottom of the pyramid. So that's where, so have you gone to a big bazaar? Okay, and what's been your experience? What did you see there?
The range of products are too many over there.
Absolutely. So range of products and the pricing, right? I could buy a refrigerator for 4,000 bucks, but if I go to another mall, I can buy a refrigerator that's 10 times more.
You can change it to Vishal Megamart, they will answer better.
Yeah.
There is no big bazaar here.
Okay.
It's a Vishal.
Yeah, so you've gone to Vishal Megamart. So that's the opportunity. So, 28, 30 years that I have worked, change is the only constant. We've got to continuously keep evolving. And I put that line up with a kid coming from behind because that line's going to go extinct and the kid's going to take over. So it's this generation that's going to take over.
I see it as India. Okay.
So change is the only constant. So we will have to continuously adapt. What has been successful in the past is not going to be successful in the future. The formulas will change, the context will change. So, and these are 3-4 points that I'll take, but I'll pick up the inflection point very quickly first. I think to my mind, India is an inflection point. If you look at what we've done in the last 20, 30 years, where we are positioned as a world economic power, where we are positioned geopolitically within South Asia, the way I think the government or the politicians have made some smart moves in the last couple of years, I think clearly there is the potential to really take off. The question is, where are you going to be when this takeoff happens? Will you have the right skills? Will you have the right attitude? Will you be ready positively, courageously to make those moves? That's the question. There's no denying the fact next 30, 40 years are going to be our golden years. Now it's up to us, what do we make of it? All of us will go on to make different careers. No question about it. But what do we do in those careers will definitely decide whether we make a success out of it or we also amongst also ranks. So that's the opposite. Another big thing that's happening is that as you grow into young leaders, do we teach them something on leadership here? Yeah. Okay. So earlier on, the view was that leaders are largely two types. Leadership is either autocratic or it is participatory. And we are all being groomed and taught to move from being autocratic to being participatory. Right? in the new era, what's going to happen, what I call, or a lot of people call it, as leadership simultaneities, which means that the way the business situation is going to be, the way the social situation is going to be, we will have to adapt, and therefore we will have to have the entire armory of all the set of skills in our armory. So at times we'll have to be autocratic, at times we'll have to be participative, at times we'll have to take the initiative, at times we'll have to go for the kill, at times we'll have to be ruthless, at times we'll have to be commercially very sharp, at times we'll have to be very emotive, at times we'll have to be very empathetic.
You mean situational leadership?
In a way situational, but the skills that we will need to nurture will be over a broad spectrum. It's not going to be an either or, as we've been groomed up on. And therefore, it's a great opportunity for you guys because you're not going to get trademarked. At the same time, you'll have to learn through experiential learning. So that's where leadership is going to go. Not going to spend much time. Dr. Gautam spoke very eloquently on the future of work, the gig economies. So what's a gig economy? I want to ask you guys. What is a gig economy? Come on, guys. Yeah.
Where the cluster of opportunities are there and you have to adapt it.
Adapt it. So you know what's a gig? कभी आप रेस्टोरेंट में गए हैं और आपने देखा कि एक म्यूजिशियन आया, उसने आपने बढ़िया सा गाना बजाया 5-7 मिनट और आपने ताली बजाई और फिर चला गया. That's a gig, right? That's not a music concert. Concert में तो musicians होंगे, वो परफॉर्म करेंगे 2-3 घंटे के लिए और आप बैठेंगे और सुनेंगे ताली बजाएंगे. Gig में वो आपके पास आता है because you're having a good evening, you want him to sing a song, you tell him sing me this song, he sings the song, that goes. That's a gig. So from there it comes gig economy. Gig economy is all about, let's say 5 or 6 of us own a business venture. We want you to come and fix a particular issue on our IT system. We don't have to employ you fully. You just come for 2 hours, fix it and go away. And we charge you for the professional hours that you spend, or we pay you for that. So, how many of you use Urban Cloud? Not available here? Okay. What is available here equivalent?
Just
Huh?
Just
Okay. And what kind of services are available?
any kind of services such as drama, water
Right,
related,
right.
and medicinal.
Yeah. So again, you have a problem, the guy comes in, fixes it and goes away. You don't have to deploy or employ the guy full time. Right? Now, so that's what's going to happen large in the gig economy. And the way, now big worry that all of us will have, पर अगर मैं सिर्फ 10 घंटे साल में मतलब महीने में जॉब करूंगा तो what happens to my income? That's the next big question, right? कि मैंने MBA किया है और मैं सिर्फ 10 घंटे हफ्ते में काम कर रहा हूँ. So the big opportunity therefore that's coming is that a lot of large organizations, either in healthcare or in social sector or in financial services, will design products for these people. For social security, equivalent to Provident Fund, will design products for them for taking loans. So loans will be available as well for them. Or healthcare insurance policies designed for these kind of work. That's the next big opportunity in those areas. So जरूरी नहीं है कि बैंक आके बोलेगा आपके पास permanent job है क्या? So that's the opportunity for that sector, and that's how it's going to play out. So if you now go to Europe, आपके कुछ दोस्त हैं जो यूरोप में रहते हैं, तो वहां जो कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल जॉब्स हैं, इस तरह के जॉब्स, they get paid more than the regular jobs. Because as you develop those skills, you will be in demand. So that's how the labor market is going to evolve. Jobs beyond 2030, I think my view is that we haven't seen those jobs yet. There's going to be a lot of change. So a lot of us who do not adopt to change will become extinct. तो हमें फ्लेक्सिबल रहना पड़ेगा. हमें बोलूं कि नहीं मैंने तो MBA मार्केटिंग में ही की है और मैं सिर्फ प्योर प्ले मार्केटिंग करूंगा तो नहीं चलेगा. और somebody may say, yeah, you know, I work for an analytics company, तो मुझे अपने analytical skills बढ़ाने नहीं है. मैं data analytics से कोर्स नहीं करने वाला हूँ. We will have to learn and adopt. And now learning is not about going to a proper university, right? You can do online learning, Coursera, and so on. You know those. But the big shift that's already happened, and that's why a lot of you have asked me when we go to other campuses, they ask us, why aren't we in the top 20, top 30 list of colleges that you guys go for campus? Is this? We moved to the whole IQ piece, the intelligence quotient piece has moved to emotional intelligence. So it's no longer about scoring more marks, it's no longer about scoring more credits or a much higher CGPA. A lot more employers are assessing people on emotional intelligence. In fact, I know of a startup that only hires people who do not get admission to the IITs. Another startup that only hires people who never passed 12th class. There is a whole logic behind it, and we can talk at some point in time. So the rules of the game are changing. And a lot of times you will be asked, but what is emotional intelligence? So just for you to explain, there are 5 key things there. One, I need to be self-aware. What are my attributes? Am I an introvert? Am I an extrovert? Do I like to socially mingle with people? मैं दोस्त आराम से बना सकता हूँ कि नहीं? मैं किस तरह के लोगों के साथ बैठकर काम कर सकता हूँ? And so on and so forth. The first thing is to have the awareness. So I may say कि अच्छा मैं उन्हीं के साथ काम कर सकता हूँ जो मेरी तरह बहुत दारू पीते हैं. That can be one. या मैं मैथमेटिकल काम नहीं कर सकता, डेटा वाला काम नहीं कर सकता. या मुझे एट स्ट्रेच में काम नहीं कर सकता. आधे घंटे के बाद मुझे 1 घंटा बाहर जाके सिगरेट पीनी पड़ती है या पढ़ा. या मैं ग्रुप्स में टीम्स में काम नहीं कर सकता, मैं सिर्फ अकेले ही काम करता हूं. तो one is, so there's nothing wrong in it. One is to be aware of it. The other is to say, okay, पर अगर opportunities एरिया में नहीं है, तो how do I begin to change that? How do I self-regulate myself to adapt to the opportunity outside? That's a big one. तो पहले मैं aware हो जाऊं और फिर मैं कैसे change करूं. And now with social media so much in our face, I remember at least in the last 7 years, we may have cancelled about 150 middle to senior management appointment after offers being made because of social media behavior. Now social media assessment happens along in the hiring process. So again, as Dr. Gautam was mentioning those 2 examples, where they hired these brand leaders, and they themselves had to be moved out due to the kind of comments they made on social media. So how do I regulate that? How do I motivate myself? क्या मैं खुद अपने आप को मोटिवेट कर सकता हूँ? अगर नहीं तो क्या मेरा एक एंकर है बाहर अपनी फैमिली में, फ्रेंड में, आई हैव अ रोल मॉडल? हाउ डू आई एम्पैथाइज? जैसे जैसे हम लार्ज टीम्स हैंडल करेंगे, बिजनेसेस रन करेंगे, अगर मैं एम्पैथाइज नहीं कर सकता, आई विल नेवर बी एबल टू लीड अ टीम. व्हाट इज एम्पैथाइजिंग? एनी आंसर्स? Empathy? Yeah.
Thinking about others, what they are doing and how.
Yeah. So putting myself in your shoes is empathy. And social skills. Right? Now, at your level, what are social skills? Are you able to present well? A lot of times people tell me, but हम तो इंडिया में हैं, तो अंग्रेजी बोलनी क्यों जरूरी है? कोई जरूरी नहीं है अंग्रेजी बोलनी. और अगर आप कोई अंग्रेजी में कोई क्वेश्चन पूछे तो उसका जवाब देना आना चाहिए. अगर आपको अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रखना है तो यू शुड बी एबल टू कम्युनिकेट वेल. अगर आपको किसी को अपना आइडिया बेचना है, you should be able to persuade them. Yeah. Use logic or use your arguments. अगर आपको कहीं प्रेजेंट करना है अपने आप को, so a lot of youngsters ask me, why do companies insist on calling us in formal clothes for interviews? Why can't we just, wear sneakers and a half a short and a sleeveless t-shirt and go? Now, companies have also experimented with all this. On the technology and R&D side, I have run organizations where we've allowed that behavior to sink in, but it becomes non-productive after a certain point. So therefore, there is a certain decorum that organizations expect you to maintain. How do you relate with that? So social skills आप कैसे develop करोगे? While you are still at college, your listening skills, how do you present? Yeah. So that emotional intelligence piece is becoming big and big. Very, very crucial. Technology, not going to spend much time. I think Dr. Gautam spoke a lot about this. I think the only two things I'll mention. In the last 5 years, almost 50% of the organized jobs that have been created in India have been in the digital and technology space. 50%. And digital technology has gone from a $2.5 billion opportunity in the 90s to $110 billion today. This is a McKinsey report I'm kind of borrowing from. And then if you go to the second last point, education, agriculture and power, the whole generation and the smart metering is a 5x opportunity, can be 20-30% of India's incremental GDP in the next 10 years. Huge. If we just get our farming piece right, you don't know what can happen. That's very simple. Now, whether that is technology-based techniques, whether that is supply chain, whether that is small airports to be able to lift our produce and send it to Europe to sell or whatever. Huge opportunity. And that's my last slide, which I honestly call the dance of democracy. All that we go through in our lives, and we feel bad about, we feel negative about, we feel good about, all that will continue to happen, guys. We live in a democracy. It is a noisy democracy. We love arguing till the cows come home, right? But we got to move on. I think for each one of us, it will be important that we have to excel at democratic rights. but yet have a duty towards the country to say, okay, what will I give to the country? What will I do to the country? And I think that is the choice that you have to make in whichever area you may go. You may decide, okay, I will go and expand my father's business 20 times. Great. You may decide, I want to go and work in the not-for-profit sector, and I want to work for an NGO that supports blind students or blind children. Great. Or you may say, I want to become the next Bill Gates in town. Fantastic. But whatever you decide to do, don't get worried about the noise. I think we're uniquely positioned in the world. We've got a great brand growing. We're not known in the world for producing terrorists. We're not known in the world for producing illegal people. We're known in the world for productive work. Yeah, we've gone and served communities in the US and Canada and Europe, anywhere you go. Right? I was in Fiji on a holiday 3 years back, and I happened to bump into an Indian. So, what are you doing here? So, I'm the one who set up their national television service. Fiji, man. Fiji is a population of about a couple of thousand. That's where India is going. Indians are making an impact. So for you, the world's the oyster. You don't have to stay back here. But wherever you go, you're an ambassador. So it's a unique position to be in this generation, guys. And I know a lot of you who come from smaller cities, smaller towns, who come from economic backgrounds that are challenging. Go out and give it your best. Thank you so much. That will be all from me.